right. I've just had an email come through.
Oh. You were looking at the camera going, Andrew, if you're watching, I haven't got with you. just with Andrew, his boyfriend, pointing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's so funny.
That is awful. Right, I'm ready. I'm so stupid. Okay. Hi, Max and George. Okay, strap in. Here we go.
Strap on.
I live in London and matched with a boy on Tinder when I was on holiday in Tenerife last year. He lives there, so we're now in a long-distance relationship, which is fine because Tenerife is only 4 hours away. The dilemma is, I applied for a job in LA the month after I met him, as I've always dreamt of going/living there. I didn't expect to fall in love with each other. That doesn't make sense. I didn't expect us to fall in love with each other, and now I've been offered a job and I'm meant to be moving soon. Screams! Ah! So now we have to navigate long distance and an 8-hour time difference. I plan to go for about 2 years, but the thought of being that far away from him makes me so sad. What do I do? He can't move with me. Blah, 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 blah. I think you break up with each other.
My initial thought was 4 hours away
is still very long.
plus plane journey, so you've got the 2 hours before the thing, you've got the getting to the airport.
That's a day.
That's like, yeah, that's, and they were like, oh, that's not that much.
Yeah, that's a lot. When I used to live,
that's mental. What's the longest distance relationship you think you could manage?
well, I did have a long distance relationship. So when I was at uni in Bristol, where your hometown, big up B-town, I met my second boyfriend.
Nice.
And he was like 5 years older than me.
Ooh,
I think.
older than you was
Yeah, he was 5 years
old.
And he moved to London as I was moving to Newcastle, because I decided I didn't like being at Bristol Uni and I wanted to go to Newcastle. And in that summer between uni years, he moved to London, so I would visit him a lot in London. And then we ended up falling for each other. He told me, can't remember where we were, he was very drunk and he was like, I think I'm falling in love with you. And I was like, ew, who isn't? I'm a great catch. Yeah. But then we ended up like fully getting together and like being in a relationship before summer finished. So then I went to Newcastle, he was in London, on a train. That is a minimum 4-hour journey on a train. And because I was a poor uni student, all that I could afford was the coach. Every week, George, on like a Thursday night at 2 a.m, I would queue in the freezing cold at Newcastle coach station, get on a coach for 7 hours to arrive in London the next morning at like 8 p.m, 8 a.m-ish, go straight to his flat.
What's the time difference like then if you got on the coach at 2 a.m. and arrived there at 7 a.m?
Well, my maths was not that good.
Journey.
My maths was not that good. And whatever time it was. And then I'd stay there for like 2 or 3 days and then I'd get the coach back. And it was hell, but I put myself through it. I put myself through it because I was in love, and the coaches were like £2 because it was Megabus. Vile. Oh, George. Horrible.
Do you not remember? I always used to travel to London on a Megabus. Evan always used to be like, oh, George, why are you getting a Megabus? Just get a train. I'm like,
so cheap.
I wasn't actually earning any money from TikTok at that point.
Oh, bless him.
Really how times change.
But yeah, I mean, it just wasn't work. One of you always ends up putting more effort in, because like it's very difficult
it's hard to share it out. Like there, it became the norm that you were going.
I went he came to visit me once. I went like every single weekend for 3 months, and it was hell. I ended up not getting to spend time with my friends. Like I was so dumb for doing it.
It will add so much stress, not only on your normal life, but also on the relationship, being like constant, like, when are you next free? We need to have this amount of time to be able to see each other.
Did you say mouth time?
This amount of time.
Oh, right.
Someone's damn bad. I don't know if I'd be able to do. I mean, even like the idea of someone living like an hour and a half away, I'm like,
it is a lot.
That's a decent distance.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I think as I get older, I'm just like, I need someone that, like, even when I met Andrew, so we knew that we had like fallen in love with each other, head over
Andrew?
heels. I did not remember his name previously, but we are in love. And when we met, I was still going back to Newcastle to finish my degree. So I remember thinking at the beginning, like, is there even any point in pursuing this? Because I'm going to be heartbroken in the end, because I'm going to end up like not being able to see him very often. But then I started to pick up with social media very quickly after we first met, and I was like, I'll be able to afford a train down if I need to, because I'm now train worthy. I remember literally when I would get
train worthy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that what he called you?
Oh, funny story.
Oh God, I hope not in that sort of.
No.
Oh God.
RuPaul, who does RuPaul's Drag Race, the drag queen.
I understood that RuPaul, yeah.
Yes. Has obviously a show, RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And for years, I don't know if it was RuPaul directly or like producers something, would not let trans people compete on the show.
Why?
Which seems very counterproductive, because the show is all about like equality and raising awareness of like LGBT people. Very weird.
I don't understand.
So RuPaul basically said that he wanted his show to be men that dress up as women as an art form, not because they think they are a woman. Like, because a drag queen is not... The drag queen who you sat next to, they're not trying to be a woman in that moment. Like, look like be a trans... They don't see themselves, I don't think anyway, as like a trans woman in their daily life. They dress up like that to perform, to like do their job. It's like putting on their outfit to do their job. So RuPaul wanted his show to be about that, because that's what he is. He was a man.
Well, so drag queens don't want you to view them as women. They want you to...
Not necessarily, no. It's more like an art form. Or like, I guess some of them dress up pretty much like women, really go for that feminine thing.
Like Blue is very
feminine.
Yeah.
And I think even she said there that like she will use like any pronouns, because she just sees herself as like
That's what I mean,
whatever, anything in between, because
I mean, you call them all she.
Yeah, or they, or whatever. But so RuPaul basically put a ban on, I don't know if it was RuPaul himself, on like when you apply that you can't have undergone like hormone replacement or like any surgeries or something.
A bit weird,
such bullshit. Like, also
if it's like an art form,
anybody can do it.
A woman dressing as a drag queen has just amount as chance of being good at it as
exactly, George. So this went on for years, and then RuPaul basically for years would get hate, like, why are you actively...
I've just realised that we're... how has this got anything to do with you and Andrew?
Because you said trains, and it made me think of something. So for years, RuPaul got loads of backlash, and then eventually decided to change it and allow trans people to go on the show. And in the tweet, like, saying this was like, I don't want to misconstrue anything. Like, I've always supported trans people, like whatever the text was. And then put a picture of, you could tell that RuPaul had written into Google Images, trans pride flag, but accidentally wrote trains pride flag. And literally this random green flag that is the pride flag for people who love trains was included. And I just think that is so funny. Like, imagine, like, you've had backlash for so many years, you finally do a statement on it, and you're like, do you know what, I've changed, I like this now. And you pick the trains.
Why is there a pride flag for trains?
I have no idea.
Shag trains?
I don't know.
Really like
I think
trains.
they just really like them.
What if you hate trains?
I don't know if there's like a trains.
So if you're a trainsphobe and everyone's like,
trainsphobe.
What? You're a what?
I'm transphobic.
I just don't like trains. What's the problem?
But yeah. Either way, love, break up, because that is a very... Unless
I mean,
you like...
if it works. I do remember back in the day on Facebook when you used to see all these things like, I met Dylan 5 years ago on Omegle, and we've never met since. We've been dating
Catfish
now for 2 years. And today's going to be the first day that I see him. What's going on, guys? It's me, Dylan. I'm waiting for Chanel. We've met online years ago.
She's an African grey.
But then... and then they do the whole running at the airport. They jump in each other's arms. And I imagine after one night of sexual intercourse, they go, do you know what? This is not going to work,
weird,
is it?
Yeah. Me and Andrew were kind of pen pals for a while. But only because
and
of
now you're peen pals.
Hey, only because of the lockdown restrictions, though, and we obeyed the law.
Right,
anyway, next one.
Voice
I can hear the phone.
I can hear a voice in my ears.
That was very delicate.
Hi, Max and George.
Hello.
Recently, I was at my nan's funeral,
Didn't ask.
and there was a bit of a scrap. So it was at the after party, and we noticed this man standing there, who no one knew. And so my granddad goes to have a word with him. He goes, "Who are you?" And the guy, I'm literally not joking, he went, "I'm the boyfriend of the woman who's died." So he was saying that he was my nan's boyfriend. And my granddad's obviously like, what? Everyone's like, what? Because everyone's gone silent now. Everyone's looking at him. And he just goes, yeah, I met her 10 years ago. And they've been dating for 8 years. So that means my nan was cheating with a random man for 8 years. And he's just shown up to her funeral. And it turned into a massive scrap.
Wow. I mean, first of all, love the fact that you referred to the wake as an after party. That is brilliant.
It's for you, Nan.
And second
What'd
of all,
you do? I mean, surely the boyfriend knew that she had a husband.
Maybe, but maybe not. Because if you think about it, it would be easy for us to find information.
Are we going to move in together at some point?
And she said, no, I can't be asked.
Well, there's no spaces at my nursing home.
Yeah. But also think about it. When you're older, nowadays, we can so easily track somebody's every move. There's going to be a social footprint of something on the internet.
Creepy, Max.
Whereas, shut up. Whereas, like, older people, you would just go off what they say.
Yeah.
If my grandma said to me, like, she's just been down at the park on the swings and the slide, I would not assume that she was robbing Greg's. Because I would have no way to, she wouldn't have put any Instagram stories up.
Oh, okay. Right.
Was that a weird analogy, I think? Yeah.
Yeah, well, another analogy, like if your grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
She would have been a bike.
Yeah.
But she's not, she's just a bitch. I actually love my grandma very much, and she's not a bitch.
Well, it turns out this voice noter's grandmother, if she had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Because
the whole town was riding on her.